What kind of technology do you think already exists, but the government is keeping a secret? Hacking backdoors to enemy countries' computer systems. They know that if they use them then they get patched and become useless, so they save their best ideas for if they're ever in a serious bind. Even stealthier planes. Ike about specifics of anything, but I'm pretty confident that anytime the DoD announces some fancy new jet or whatever, they're giving us old news. There's already an even fancier, higher tech jet flying around they don't want us to know about yet. Fun fact: during the late 1950s through the late 1960s, more than 50 of UFO sightings in the USA directly correlated to top secret U-2 and A-12 SR-71 training flights. People who reported them to the Air Force through Project Blue Book were given explanations that it was Venus or whatever. Blue Book personnel would pass the sightings on to the CIA who were running those programs, and the CIA would try to match them up to the top secret flight logs of their surveillance aircraft. More often than not, they got a hit. They didn't inform the Air Force about it, though, because the Air Force didn't have a need to know. So even USAF pilots who saw something were given a cock and bull story. A lot. At this point in time, drone tech is probably far more advanced than we realize. Weaponized Boston Dynamics dogs. My buddy told me that they have secretly invented crackers that don't go stale and hoarding them from the public because they are evil. Everyone knows about the Bletchley Park efforts to break Enigma during World War II. Less known is the fact that the US government kept recommending countries use Enigma-similar encryption for the next 20 years after the war. In 1992, the NSA charged the creator of PGP with export of a controlled munition when he released the code on the internet. In 1998, the Clinton administration announced they were removing all export restrictions on RSA, the key system used in PGP. Either 1. The cat was out of the bag and there was no point in stopping someone corporations in the US from using this technology with branch offices outside the country, or 2. The NSA has found a relatively fast method of breaking RSA key pairs. Tinfoil hats are for sale in the lobby for $15. I think the chance of the best quantum computer in existence being the same one as the best one known to public is fairly low. According to the back of every spy novel I've seen at the airport, DARPA is up to some crazy shit. I'm sure there's plenty, but it's more boring than you might think. When I was a young man I was in military intelligence and there was some pretty nifty capability back then that was top secret but is now far surpassed by what hobbyists can do. It wouldn't surprise me if micro-drones were a thing that the government uses to spy on people. They could be the size of houseflies, you would never know, and they would have no incentive to tell you. There's secret, and then there's quiet. The quiet advancements in camouflage are spooky. We can clone. You can already go online and clone your dog. We might not have done it, but we 100 can clone a human. Social media backdoors. As we've seen in Ukraine, we've had the ability to shoot down hypersonic missiles that supposedly travel so fast they can't be shot down. During some of those UFO discussions in Congress, they kept using the phrase non-human intelligence rather than alien extraterrestrial. My crazy idea is that there are top secret AI models full AGI that have been used to develop breakthrough tech. Cat girls, they're keeping them safe from us. Cloaking. Which government? Time travel, and they just keep preventing World War III without changing the course of human history too much to where they never actually invent time travel. Drone swarms. The ability to just tell us what we owe for taxes. That shit Batman had in The Dark Knight is real. Machines that can crack passwords in the blink of an eye. Or at least, very fast. Instant matter transmission. The movie and Michael Crichton novel Timeline explained it on a way that makes somewhat sense but used to time travel. You're basically faxed in the most simplest way. Having full access to your phone computers. The ability to successfully clone humans and or grow vital human organs. Combat viable laser weapons. reliable portable fusion engines and generators. I wonder what that X-37 is doing on those unmanned 6-month missions up in orbit. The right tablets that make you healthy immediately. To be honest, a lot of it is kind of dull. By the time whatever thing is finally declassified, it's anticlimactic. Like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that we had that back then based on what we could go out and buy. I mean, the F-22 started development in the 1980s. Science fiction is having to work harder and harder, verging on fantasy at this point, to get past the edge of possible. There was a Wired magazine article a while back that listed the top 5 or 10 most likely methods of successful time travel. The phrase that stuck with was "the math checks out," which means that viable time travel is now just an engineering problem. That line killed my sense of wonder with science fiction. Drones are a dominant weapon on the battlefield, but they have a weakness: if you jam their radio signal, the pilot can't fly them remotely and tell them what to shoot. I bet you there are already flying deathbots trained, when they lose their signal, to autonomously seek out and kill humans. 1. Weapons in space. Probably tactical hypersonic ICBMs that they can launch at any target to strike in a matter of minutes. 2. Quantum computers that they are currently working on to make use of in the form of AI. It's a new arms race, basically. 3. The tech to give everyone affordable healthcare independent of employment. USA only. The rest of the first world already knows this. Decrypt any email, text, or file you ever sent and received. Enlargement pills that actually works. Edit typo. I'm sure there are drugs that can extend how long you can be awake and alert, which are not available outside the military. Encryption breakers that can quickly de-encrypt even ICE-256 and stuff. Also far more advanced AI than what's known. Also probably some highly advanced missile defense capability and Gen 7 fighters that have already flown. They were flying the F-117 in the late 70s. Also, advanced anti-drone jamming capability that can do area denial for all drones not if friendly. Systems that already process federal taxes, accurately eliminating the entire tax return mess. I feel like Trump would have blabbered on about any notable secrets that he knew about. Invisibility. I am standing behind you right now. That we're being more monitored, way more than what we realize. The thing is, don't tell me how I know. A face-off machine. Silent Velcro.